Hey there, hi there, ho there. We don't care about your headache.
Wake your ass up.
We don't care about the girl you missed out on last night. Because if you'd had her, you wouldn't be listening to this. You'd be having some wanky, wanky, slappy, slappy, fun, fun, fun.
You'd be in the shower right now, washing each other up.
But instead, you're stuck with us. He's a conquistador, Dave Height.
He's the maestro, Kevin Crane.
We are not your sloppy seconds.
We are your first choice for pop culture entertainment news.
That's right, as always, here on the weekend edition. This week, hitting on June the 17th, 2023, we have one of the most anticipated album releases of the year. Yes, we start off, as always, with music. We start off with rock and roll. And in this case, we start off with Gary Cherone, Nuno Betancourt, and the boys in Extreme, the new album, 15 years after Saudades de Rock. This is 6.
12 songs, starting off with the first track released, Rise, which we reviewed, one of the top songs on the album.
One of the top songs of the year. And the thing is, the album starts off with the first 4 songs are the first 4 releases, basically in order.
Yeah. Who does that? These guys.
So we go Rise, #Rebel, Banshee, and Other Side of the Rainbow.
Yep, which we've done over the weeks.
I will say this. I will say there is not a better, in recent memory, 1, 2, 3 starting combo punch to your rock and roll gut than Rise, #Rebel, and Banshee.
I completely agree. This is a solid 1, 2, 3 getting you into the album. And then we hit the roadblock. As we talked about, was it last week, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, last week.
Last week with Other Side of the Rainbow, their cheesy ass ballad.
Well, let's put this in perspective, Dave.
What was the cheesy ass ballad at the time?
Yeah, in perspective now, I look at Other Side of the Rainbow and I go, not half bad. This is
the best of the slow songs they have on here.
Yes.
Yeah.
As Sally said in the deli, and when Harry met Sally, yes. Unfortunately, I hate to say this because I had such unbelievable high hopes for this album that after that triple punch combo, that Conor McGregor laying out the Miami Heat mascot combo, the rest of the album for me is very hit and miss.
Yeah, it's very mediocre.
As Dave said, you get Other Side of the Rainbow, and then followed up by, in my opinion, the worst song on the album.
There's 2 in the running for worst.
This is something a 3rd grader could have wrote.
Small Town Beautiful.
Sorry, a 3rd grader in Kansas would have wrote this.
This was bad.
This is awful. This is literally poorly written. I expect better from these guys.
Yeah, this was just, what the hell were you doing? You've had 15 years to put a solid album together, and you include Small Town Beautiful? Really?
Yeah, I was not a fan at all of this song. Then we get into what, if you know Extreme, if you've listened to all their albums, you know they can get experimental. They can go off the rails a little bit. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Sometimes we welcome bands trying to try different things.
Right.
Now, track 6, The Mask, with Nuno doing the little creepy vocals.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. I didn't mind it.
No.
It was pretty decent. It was a nice rebound from Small Town Beautiful.
Yeah.
This gave me hope that we're going back in the right direction.
Yep. And then all of a sudden we get into the heavy industrial synthesizers with Thicker Than Blood
and Save Me, they're okay.
Yeah, Thicker Than Blood, I would say, is catchy, but the problem is, if you look at the lyrics, I mean, what is it other than love is thicker than blood, love is thicker than blood, love is thicker than
Yeah,
blood.
we get it.
It's almost a dance track in a way,
Yeah.
you know?
And not a great dance track.
No, I'll take it, but I'm not really happy with it.
No, to me, that was a meh. The same with Save Me.
Save Me sounded to me like a song that had potential, but it wasn't fully formed.
Yeah.
It didn't have that catchy chorus in it. It rocked, for no purpose.
It missed the catchy chorus.
Yeah, it had no purpose.
It didn't have a rug to tie it together.
Very good, Lebowski. Very good. Then we get the next slow song. I guess I didn't mind Hurricane, especially when compared to Small Town Beautiful.
It was better, but still it was what was it trying to be? I mean, it kind of starts off almost sounding like Time of Your Life. And then it goes into okay. It just it didn't do it for me. That was in the running for one of the worst.
I can't argue with that. I can't. But then we get, you want to talk about experimental and heavy synthesizers, then we get X Out.
I have a question mark next to this one.
I don't know what the hell this song is.
I mean, the way it started...
It's almost 6 minutes long.
Yeah. It had that almost a feel with the guitar in the beginning vocals like you might have gotten something from Alter Bridge. And then kind of went off the rails a little bit.
Yeah, I thought Nuno Betancourt's guitar was good in this one. He played guitar, good solo is what I'm trying to get at.
I like the chorus, X Out, X Out.
See, I didn't like the chorus at all. I thought it was pointless. I thought it was pointless. It wasn't catchy.
It was better than everything else on it.
Yeah, see, X Out to me is a perfect example of what happens with Extreme when they try to experiment and they go too far.
Yeah.
Then we get the blatant, not blatant tribute to Van Halen.
Yes. The reggae beat.
I thought it sounded like a Jimmy Buffett song.
that whole island type feel. Yeah.
Yes, but
for beautiful girls.
But it is a thinly veiled tribute to Van Halen. Number one, by the title.
Yeah.
And number two, by the fact they reference California Girls.
But then a lot of it referenced back to the Beach Boys. I wish they all could be California.
Well, we'll see, that could be David Lee Roth,
that could be. So it's kind of the combo.
And at the end, with the kiss, the kiss is the same ending as Van Halen's Beautiful Girls.
Yeah.
So I think this was Nuno's not so subtle, but subtle Van Halen tribute.
Could be. Not bad.
No. It's fun. It's jaunty.
Yeah, it's that poppy little fun summer tune.
Right.
Not horrendous.
And then we close out with Here's to the Losers, which, again, I think this is like Save Me. I think this is a song that might have had potential if it would have been done differently. But again,
it was the We Are the Champions.
We talked about this with Matchbox 20 a few weeks ago with the chorus, the kids' chorus.
Yeah.
Why do we have to have Godsmack did this? Why do we have to have the chorus? Just do the goddamn song.
Yeah. Not strong at all.
Well, I was worried because it sounds like you and I are pretty simpatico on this. I was worried you were going to come out guns blazing saying, this is awesome. This is Extreme. No, Extreme's back, baby.
That's what I was worried from you, knowing how much you were anticipating it as well. No. And this was just really 15 years, and this is what you give us.
Yeah, because, of course, the first 3 songs
just
they released.
Boom, boom, boom.
And you're like, oh, my God, this is going to be fantastic. And then the rest of it is kind of. I have to say, going back to last week, I'll take Rival Sons over this, even though it's only 8 songs.
Yeah.
It's 8 stronger songs than the 12
stronger.
we get here.
Yeah, this is.
I will give Extreme 6 because of the strength of the first 3 songs. The Mask is good. Save Me's okay. Beautiful Girls is okay. I will give it a week 3 Frenzies.
I can only go a very strong 2.5, just because when it's bad, and that the bad cannot overcome
the good.
The good cannot overcome the bad.
Right.
So it's right in that you're a weak 3, I'm a strong 2.5.
Yeah, I know.
We're in the same vein.
We're not far off. Again, I think this is me.
But Rise is still in the running for Song of the Year.
Oh, yeah. And again, I think this is more because I can tolerate the weaker songs a little bit better than you, for the most part. Except Small Town Beautiful. Just makes me want to throw up in a coffee can. Oh, my God.
It makes me cringe.
That is just so beneath them. You take that song off this album. Just take it off.
And it's better.
Addition by subtraction.
Absolutely.
I could live with Hurricane. I can live with Other Side of the Rainbow, but Small Town Beautiful, out of the 3 slow songs, is just abysmal.
No, you take out Small Town Beautiful and Here's to the Losers, drop it down to 10 songs.
And close it out with Beautiful Girls.
Yeah. Then you're in a better place. Then I can give it a 3.
I can see that. Yeah. I can see that. I think, though, I might actually take X out.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I like
Here's to the Losers more than you.
Probably.
I'm not saying it's a great song. I'm just saying I didn't hate it as much as you seem to.
Yeah, and I liked X Out a little bit more than you.
Right.
So there's
still close. Still very close. And again, as Dave and I never consult before our reviews, he's worried about me. I'm worried about him because we both had high hopes for this. And we're both thinking one of the two of us is going to think this is a good album. Well, I think it sucks. And it turns out
we're both on the same page. Yeah. So there you go.
It doesn't suck.
It doesn't suck.
It's just disappointing.
Yes.
Just disappointing.
Kind of where we've been so far most of this year.
Yeah.
Outside of Rival Sons.
Yes. Which still, again, wasn't the be-all, end-all.
The be-all, end-all, but it's just more solid.
Yes. All right, we've got one song review for you this week.
Yep. Slipknot's Corey Taylor venturing solo again, this time with the song Beyond.
Yeah, and he did some cover songs within the last year or two that we enjoyed.
Yeah.
He did On the Dark Side. So he's got that 80s rock heart that we can respect and admire.
Yeah, he's got a really good voice when he just flat out sings, when he's not doing his screamy stuff.
Okay, if you say so.
Well, better than some.
Yeah, because my problem with the song is that I didn't think his vocals were strong enough to carry the song. Now, well, that's not the only... I liked the band. I liked the instrumental parts of the song, the guitar, drums were driving, drums were very good. I just didn't think, number one, the song was very well written, and I don't think in this case Corey Taylor's vocals could propel it to a different level.
No, this to me was kind of a generic song.
Yes.
It had good bones to it. But even...
That's a good way to look at it, yes.
Even the guitar work and the drum work was insert any lyric here.
Right.
It could be almost any song.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll give it a week 2 frenzies.
That's about where it belongs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
So-
Dave is taking next week off, rightfully so, anniversary week for him and Mrs. C. So
Yep.
we're going to hold off on Alice Cooper, who has a new album coming out, just announced. Alice Cooper's new album, Road, will be out August the 25th. The first single, I'm Alice. Wow, really subtle there. We will review in 2 weeks for you, as well as a recommendation from Dave.
Yep, something new that popped up after listening to 6. Deadly Vices. They've got a new album coming out, Downriver, and we will do the title track, Downriver.
Now, in 2 weeks, again, keep in mind, Dave's off next week. Next week, I will review the new Queens of the Stone Age, In Times New Roman. Dave will have to catch up with that. But in 2 weeks, kids, you're getting the Alice Cooper song, you're getting the Deadly Vices song, and you are getting a double shot. Not only are you getting Dave's review of the Struts,
That's right.
but we will have not only a review of, in 2 weeks, the new John Mellencamp album, Orpheus Descending, but also a concert review of Mr. Mellencamp live in South Bend, Indiana. So in 2 weeks, a jam-packed music segment here.
It's going to be crazy cuckoo, kids. Get your Cocoa Puffs ready.
But yeah, very interesting how that falls into place where we will review not only the new Mellencamp album, but the new concert.
The concert.
That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, there's not a lot.
That's all I got. We got the Beatles. We got Paul McCartney talking about the final Beatles song ever. He's constructing using AI.
Okay. Screw AI. Skynet, kids. Skynet.
You know, just another money grab,
Yep.
in my opinion. You know,
He's got to pay for his funeral.
To reproduce John Lennon's. What I've heard, the rumors I've heard, are the only reason he's doing this is because George Harrison's dead. Supposedly, there was a song that they were going to release when the three were alive: Harrison, Starr, and McCartney. And what they released, Free as a Bird, years ago, with Jeff Lynne producing.
Yeah.
But there was another song sitting out there that Harrison didn't like at all that featured Lennon. Lennon had sent McCartney a little snippet on piano of a certain song, and Harrison just said it was ultimate crap. And
well,
so
if it's
now,
coming from John, it probably was.
But now with Harrison dead, McCartney, I think, feels like he can do this song and rework it. This is just the rumors, the speculations, the suppositions. But supposedly this song is going to be the one that he's going to turn into the final Beatles song.
Okay.
And it's fine because as we listen to it, Skynet will rain down fire from the heavens and kill us all.
And the Terminator will rise from the ashes. There you go.
And the first thing he'll do is kill Arnold Schwarzenegger for FUBAR.
Oh my God, yes. Please. So bad.
Don't you worry, kids. I've got yet another TV streaming show to stay away from. Last time it was FUBAR. I got a new one for you. But next up, movies, and a book review.
That's right.
I have my review of the new incarnation of Raymond Chandler's Philip Marlowe, starring Liam Neeson.
Yep. And I have the new Joe Nesbo book, the new Harry Hole crime novel.
So we're not even close to being done yet. Down some aspirin, gargle, take care of business.
Get your coffee, fry up some eggs, cook some bacon. You'll be good to go.
Yep. Quick promo break. Dave and I will be right back. She walked into my office just as I was reaching for the bottle in my bottom desk drawer. Legs till Tuesday, lips like pillows. I want to hire you, she said, to find Sports Frenzy 2.0. Doll, I said, that would be the easiest case ever. Sports Frenzy 2.0 is on Spotify, Anchor, Google, Apple, everywhere you listen to podcasts. She nodded to herself, sat down and smiled. I grabbed 2 glasses. Life was good. And so is Sports Frenzy 2.0.
Welcome back to the weekend edition of Sports Frenzy 2.0. I'm the Conquistador Dave Height.
And I'm the maestro, Kevin Crane.
And now it's time for movies and books on Spotify, Google, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, Amazon, Audible, iHeartRadio, Apple, Overcast, Castbox, and Stitcher! Here we are, dropping June 17th, 2023. Wake your ass up.
You got to do something with your life. You might as well spend Saturday morning with us because you can't spend it with that beautiful girl from the night before.
Because she turned out to be not so beautiful after those beer goggles went away.
At least she wasn't a chick with a dick. Which, if you listen to the media, that's 1 out of every 5 people walking the earth.
Not quite. Her and you on the floor.
All right, movies for this week. Dave and I are aficionados of old school and new school detective stories. We will get to one of the new school detective stories in our book review segment.
Yep.
But, so we tie this all together.
See, everything meshes.
I have a movie review of an old school detective in a new movie. He has been played by Humphrey Bogart. He has been played by Robert Mitchum. He has been played by Elliot Gould. He has been played by James Garner. And now, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, American detectives of all time, Philip Marlowe, played by Liam Neeson in the new movie Marlowe, directed by Neil Jordan. So you've got some credibility there, some cachet, award-winning director.
Yep. Top action hero of now and Liam.
And a very, very solid cast. Diane Kruger, Jessica Lange, Danny Houston.
Yep, with an iconic lead character.
Right. It's gotten terrible reviews from what I've seen. Terrible reviews. Obviously didn't get a huge wide release. Barely made a blip at the box office. But again, because of our love for these types of stories, these types of movies, had to give it a shot. So it's based on The Black-Eyed Blonde.
Very good book.
Yep. Came out a little over, I believe, a decade ago. Again, it's just one of those books that carries on, obviously, the tradition.
Yeah.
We've seen it with Robert B. Parker. We've seen it with Clive Cussler. The estate, the publishing companies just can't wait to continue these beloved characters, these well-known characters, into new territory.
Yep. And if you get the right author to pick up the mantle, they don't miss a beat.
Right. We've seen it with Vincent Lardo in the Archie McNally series. We've seen it with Ace Atkins, who unfortunately just stopped writing the Spencer novels
Yeah,
for the late great
unfortunately.
Robert B. Parker. Now it's Mike Lupica. But it can be carried on. It can be done well. So, in terms of movies, what we get now is Benjamin Black's, again, The Black-Eyed Blonde. That is a pseudonym, of course. But as Dave said, the book, we both read the book. The book is solid. The book is good. Pretty much keeps to the spirit of the old tone and style of Raymond Chandler. And again, as I mentioned, the reviews were pretty harsh from what I saw. And I will chalk that up to two things. I will chalk that up to, number one, the fact that people in 2023 don't want to see a movie set during World War II, 1940s West Coast America.
People need to get over themselves.
And number two,
you gotta enjoy the noir genre.
That's the thing. Number two is the noir genre. You have to have patience, and you have to look at detail and listen to how the words are spoken, the cadence, the subtlety of the language.
Because it will come back to play an important role.
So I think those two reasons in major part are why Marlowe's not getting great reviews. Because if I compare it to the Gould, the Garner, I don't know if I should compare it to the classics, the Bogart, but even the Mitchums, it's not all that much worse than those movies were. I have a fondness for James Garner. I thought Elliot Gould, when they made that, was a little bit of a hipster doofus.
Yeah,
when he played
him
Philip
as
Marlowe.
Kind of a bumbling, kind of almost a precursor to Columbo.
Yeah, mumbled a lot.
Yeah.
Marlowe has a little more confidence than that.
Marlowe has a lot of confidence. Come on.
So, breaking down Liam Neeson as Philip Marlowe and the plot and the cast, I will say this is a trifle underrated. I am not saying it's great. I am not saying it's up to the level of Marlowe with James Garner. It's probably about as good as the Elliot Gould.
Okay, it's
The
tolerable.
Long Goodbye.
It's tolerable.
Yeah, it's not abysmally awful like a lot of reviews, again, are giving you because of the reasons I've already put out there. People don't have patience for old movies that were set 90 years ago, and people don't have patience to listen to the dialogue, a dialogue-heavy movie, as opposed to a special effects-laden, action-heavy Transformers movie.
Yeah, it's not for the ADHD crowd.
Right. Liam Neeson does a good job. He's actually very well cast for this role at this point in time in his life because he looks old. Liam Neeson can play the world-weary, older Philip Marlowe. So I did actually like him a bit more than I thought I would playing Philip Marlowe. And the supporting cast, again, Diane Kruger, Jessica Lange, Danny Houston, Alan Cumming, very funny, very well done as the mob, the big crime boss.
Nice.
Of course, Alan Cumming is gay. They don't. It's a checkbox, but it's not a checkbox. This is one where you can accept it because they're very subtle and smart about it, where they don't throw it in your face, but there's a very funny line where they never come out. His character never says he's gay, but there's a line where he says, "Yeah, I like to go to the country club, which is a central part of the plot of the story, but they usually only let me come in through the back door. And he turns immediately to Philip Marlowe and goes, "Don't say anything." No further comment needed. I thought that was very funny. Very, very funny.
You know, there you go.
Again, it's not groundbreaking. It's not fantastic, but you could do worse. And again, if you like these old school type of movies, Maltese Falcon, The Long Goodbye, The Big Sleep, there's nothing wrong with Marlowe. There's really nothing wrong with it. It did enough for me where I will give it a week 2.5 frenzies.
That's all you can hope for from one of those.
Yeah, low budget.
Yeah.
You know, older actors and actresses basically hitching on to a movie that they hope with a decent director, smaller budget, smaller studio will take off. It's not as bad as everybody's telling you it is, kids.
There you go. All right.
So then we transition to books and a newer detective.
Yes. Joe Nesbo has been around for almost 15 years now, I think, coming out of Norway. He's got his detective, Harry Hole, who works for Oslo's crime squad, who by default has become their go-to guy to solve serial killings. His past, he's been through the FBI training on identifying and profiling. He just has a knack for this kind of thing. He's picks up on those subtle details that a lot of other people miss. He goes with his gut. He thinks outside the box. Well, as Killing Moon kicks off, we find Harry trying to drink himself to death in Los Angeles. He's escaped Oslo after the murder of his wife and the suicide of probably his best friend in the last book. I'm not going to give a lot away. There's a lot going on. But Harry's there in Los Angeles trying to drink himself to death, being the alcoholic that he is. He can think of no other noble way to go. Getting as far from home as he can. Unwittingly befriends an aging actress whose time has passed her by, in her last-ditch hope for a comeback movie unfortunately went the way of financing it with money borrowed from a Mexican loan shark. And unwittingly, Harry saves her from the two guys confronting her, saves her, almost kills one of them, but gets in their crosshairs. And they find, the loan shark finds them, and just as Harry gets a phone call from home, from the lawyer of a businessman who's accused of murdering two former lovers, thinking that he might be the next serial killer, he wants to hire somebody to prove he's innocent. The lawyer reaches out. They track down Harry, said, "Name your price." And with him being held at gunpoint as they're getting ready to kill the old lady actress, Harry negotiates for $1 million to have a little bit extra after he pays off her $900,000 loan. He's given 10 days to solve it. So Harry flies back to Oslo, where he has to pull together a off-the-books team because he's no longer associated with the police. He's on his own. He's got to solve the crime and come to grips with what happened to his wife and his best friend, and confronting his best friend's wife, who's the mother of Harry's child.
Wow.
Which happened during a drunken fugue of his, she took advantage of Harry a few while ago, which I'm not going to give any spoilers.
Where are these women when I need them?
But with all the twists and turns and trying to figure out what the hell's going on in this ultimate revenge against the businessman, it's a solid 3.5. It's a decent pace. There's enough to keep you guessing who is the killer, because they allude that it could be one of two people, but is it one of those two? So very well done. A lot going on in this one. So one of his better books. So I will give Killing Moon a solid 3.5.
Well, see, now I feel bad because I was trying to stay on the fringes in my review of Marlowe and didn't really give away much of the plot. Where you, I'm not saying you did anything wrong. I'm just saying you were like diving into the plot.
Because you have giving the intro of why he's going back. There's so much going on when he's back that there's just a lot to delve into.
Yeah. Yeah. And with Marlowe, it's typical West Coast detective stuff.
Yeah.
Femme fatales, you know,
yeah.
missing lovers,
yeah,
and that type of thing. So there's not nearly as much complexity.
Marlowe's more well known,
right,
than the Harry Hole.
Yeah.
So you really have to go back to a number of the stories to get a feel for what's going on and where Harry's at this point.
All right, next week with Dave off, you will have my review of Renfield with Nicolas Cage playing Dracula.
That's on Peacock?
Yes, and I have watched the first half an hour. And the only reason I'm committing to this review for next week is because the first half hour was a hell of a lot better than I expected.
I have been told by two people I work with that it's pretty damn good.
Yeah, the ads, the commercials for it didn't do it justice from what I can tell so far. Because the first half hour is great. I mean, great. Fun, well done, well written. Nicolas Cage is awesome.
I've been told his facial expressions alone are worth watching it for.
His facial expressions through the makeup as he tries to regenerate. So, yeah, he's talking through various stages of putty layered on his face. And it's fun. It's great. So far, I'm very encouraged. So, yeah, I'm going to follow through, finish up Renfield for next week. And again, I didn't have high hopes for this one at all. But again, I think it's because the commercials couldn't show the blood because it's very bloody.
Yeah.
And, with the language restrictions and everything, even Aquafina isn't that irritating. So,
wow.
Yeah. So I'm encouraged by what I've seen from Renfield so far.
Yep. 2 weeks. We're going to have Extraction 2.
Yes, I will hold off on my review of Extraction 2, even though I could do it next week. There is no way in hell without Dave I'm reviewing that movie because Dave and I are huge fans of the first one.
Absolutely.
With Chris Hemsworth. Now we're going to watch it probably first night.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll hold off on our review until we can both get together and talk with you kids about it together. And I can't wait for this 20 plus minute single shot scene that the Russos have put together.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see this. Can't wait. All right, little bit of movie news to wrap up segment 2. Most of it about the strike. And guess what? I am going to tell you something, kids. You are witnessing the downfall of the most profitable, creative movie franchise, movie universe of all time. The Marvel Universe is done. The Marvel Universe is sunk. It is over.
And you know where you heard the prediction first? Right here.
The Writers Guild of America strike has now pushed multiple Marvel movies back yet again.
Not 1, but 2 years at least.
Blade has now been pushed back again. Remember, it got pushed back because they had to switch directors. But now, because of the strike, Blade will not come out until 2025. The 2 Avengers movies revolving around Kang, the villain that was introduced in Quantumania, have now respectfully been pushed back to 2026 and 2027. And outside the Marvel Universe, but still impacting Disney, which is all I care about. Burn down the Mouse House. Burn it down. Dave, Avatar 3 has been pushed back to 2025. And
really? 2025. Does anybody really think he's going to get that done?
Oh, it gets better. Because, of course, you know this is now 5 movies. Avatar 4 has been pushed back from 2026 to 2029. And then we're not even going to talk about Avatar 5 because we'll all be dead. We'll all be dead. James Cameron will most likely be dead.
He'll be dead before
Avatar
the 4th
5,
one.
Avatar 5 will be directed by an AI version of James Cameron. And then Skynet will rain fire and hell from the heavens down on those blue-skinned idiots.
Yeah, 2025 for the 3rd one is awfully optimistic.
What you're doing with the Disney movies, with the Marvel movies, now that Disney is running the show, is you are spreading these movies out so much. You're going to lose continuity on top of the fact that they're PC crap.
That the writing and the storylines are awful to begin with.
Because all we've got left this year is the Marvels at Christmas time.
And really, if you've seen the previews, it looks like a pathetic joke.
Next year, you get Captain America. Thunderbolts, by the way, got pushed back too. So that's another one. They insist, though. They keep saying Deadpool 3 is still
a go
set for next summer.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm just saying. That's now their shining light. Because just like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which we predicted because it was James Gunn, it was his vision. He said, I'm not doing Disney.
I'm doing me. This is the continuation.
And what has it done? It has been a complete and total success compared to the last few Marvel movies. It's going to end up making at least as much as the first one. Might not get to the second one, but still very successful.
Yes. I think it's the best of the 3.
But again, Deadpool 3, if they leave it alone and let the creators, the original creators of the first 2, do their thing, it'll be fine.
Yep.
Especially with Wolverine back again.
Oh my God. That's going to push it over the top.
And that's a nice segue to wrap up segment 2, because in segment 3, I will be talking a little bit more about Wolverine. But we also have to talk about TV and streaming news and America's favorite game show, Dumbass or Not.
Stay tuned, kids. Lots more fun coming your way.
When your day of dealing with international intrigue is over and you've settled down in your Aston Martin, call up Sports Frenzy 2.0 on your phone or smart car stereo. Every Thursday, Kev Dave will take your mind off the megalomaniac who just had a laser pointed at your genitals with the best sports criticism around. And don't forget to listen to the weekend edition every Saturday so you can plan out your entertainment options with the femme fatale of your choice. Grab a martini, shaken, not stirred, and check out Frenzy, Sports Frenzy 2.0. Third and final segment here for the weekend edition, taping on June the 14th, 2023, hitting Saturday morning. As always, your weekend hangover cure, in this case, June the 17th, 2023. I'm the maestro, Kevin Crane.
I'm the conquistador, Dave Height.
We have covered music. We have covered movies. It is time to cover
Books
TV
are
and streaming.
done.
Books are done. Isn't that a country band?
That's Brooks and Dunn.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Gotcha. All right. As always, I have to
Come on, Donnie.
I have to give my quick rundown of Beavis and Butthead as it's almost wrapping up. Season 2 of the new series almost done. Episode 9 from last week, Stolen Valor, where old Beavis and Butthead somehow get into the local VFW, convince the veterans that they are actually former undercover operatives.
Oh, God.
Just so they can get free beer. But of course, somehow screw it up in the end.
Because that's what they do.
And then Breeding Frenzy, where the young, normal Beavis and Butthead decide that they are going to breed dogs.
Oh, God.
Yet somehow they get a raccoon and decide that the raccoon can breed with the dogs.
Oh, God, help us.
And hilarity ensues.
Of course it does.
Actually, very good episode. So, next week, I will wrap up season 2 of Beavis and Butthead on Paramount Plus.
There you go.
Yes, it's juvenile. Yes, I get mocked and ridiculed for being in my mid to late 50s and still liking it, but screw you, I don't care.
It's based in the 80s where we grew up. Where we had the times of our lives.
That is right. Now, let me tell you a little lesson, kids. Little lesson, life lesson. For those of you who are older, you know this. For those of you who are younger, and at some point in time,
reality will set in and you'll realize we're right.
When you want to get married and settle down and have a child, after, you sign the consent agreement to touch a boob and then to actually have sexual intercourse, and you've had it notarized and stamped and signed, and then you have a child.
You got 3 notaries and 5 witnesses to the event that everything is taking place on the up and up.
And that child ends up growing up, and that child will inevitably be completely different from you, and that child will recommend things to you. Like my child, the protege, a former member of Sports Frenzy.
I'm sorry things went off the rails there.
She was in town last week. Great to see her. Loved to see her. Ate a lot of greasy, bad food, and that was awesome. But
my niece never even contacted us while she was in town.
It takes her 2 weeks to respond to a text from me. Okay? So don't feel so bad. Here's the lesson. Never, ever, ever take recommendations from your children ever when it comes to music or movies or TV. Because inevitably, they're not going to watch the same thing that you like They're weird. They're different. They're strange. Okay?
God, I got the 2 exceptions to the rule.
This is a show you and I have talked about, by the way. So I'm giving you fair warning.
Oh, God. We've ridiculed its production, haven't we?
No, this is something that we both thought looked interesting.
Oh.
And we were thinking about watching it.
That's a shock.
And Cassidy recommended it. And I'm like, well, I was thinking of watching it anyway, so
well,
let
if
me
she
give it a shot.
recommended it, that should have automatically taken it off of our watch list.
We were thinking about, correct me if I'm wrong, we had talked about Jury Duty, right?
Yes, yeah, because it was recommended to me from somebody that I work with whose opinion I usually agree with.
You were going to take that person, walk them out during lunch break, take them to a back alley, and beat them to a bloody pulp is what you're going to do.
Wow.
Jury Duty is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life.
Ouch.
It has what we thought was a brilliant premise. Supposedly, this whole trial involved in Jury Duty is fake, except for one person who supposedly does not know that everybody else outside of James Marsden, who is literally an actor, everybody's an actor. The judge, the prosecuting attorney, the defending attorney, the defendant,
every member of the jury except for that one person.
The only problem is, okay, 2 episodes in, I can't do it anymore. Wow. I watched 2 episodes. I'm like, I don't get the joke. You would think you would have some kind of scene or scenes where the other people, the actors, are talking about, oh yeah, what are you going to do with this scene? What are you going to do, tomorrow? No, it's not like we're in on the joke. It's like it plays out like there is no joke, even though they tell us at the beginning of every episode the exact premise. This is a comical look at the inner workings of the American judicial system. Everybody is an actor except for one guy, but they don't really act like that. And it's filmed and it's got the same tone and the same style as The Office. And I'm just not a big Office fan. The whole...
See, I was worried I thought you were going to say it comes off like reality TV.
No, not like that. But it's just not funny. I don't get the joke. And I'm not going to wait through 5 or 6 episodes until they finally start to let the veneer crack and, the actors start to talk to each other. If they're all actors and they're all in on it except the one guy, why can't we ever see what's going on behind the scenes with all the actors talking about what they're going to do the next day? How are you going to play up the next day when we're filming this? It's just very weird. Somebody at work asked me...
That's kind of depressing.
Somebody at work asked me, well, is it like The Truman Show? I'm like, no, The Truman Show was good. The Truman Show, at least you understood when it was revealed that it was all, Jim Carrey's character was stuck in the middle of a film of his life. This it's pointless. It goes nowhere. It's not funny.
That's disappointing.
I'm telling you. One of the most disappointing, awful shows ever. I didn't watch the whole thing. I have learned I'm not wasting my time. I watched 2 episodes. That's it. I'm done. I'm out, Jerry. I'm out of the contest.
There you go. Well, Mrs. C and I have gotten through the first season of a show that we've talked about watching. It's been done for a few years now. We're finally getting to the point to be able to watch it. We have finished season 1 of Breaking Bad.
Very good. How was the...
I am loving it. The
Okay.
hype is there. It's deserved. Very well acted. It's disturbing, but you see why things play out the way they play out. I'm in.
Okay. Well,
So it's not disappointing at all.
that doesn't shock
It's
me.
very good. It's living up to the hype.
Yeah, that doesn't shock me. Again, that's one of the shows that I've always wanted to get around to watching. And I did watch the first couple episodes and then kind of faded out on it. So,
Yep. So we're in it. How long it takes us, I don't know. But we're in it now.
you and I are going to have issues with this. Because I know you have been pushing me to finish up Gotham Knights. And I did actually watch about half an hour of it this week. Obviously, after watching Jury Duty, wish I'd watched a lot more. News came down this week. CW canceled it.
So no season 2.
No. So now I don't know whether I should follow through on the rest or not.
You know, do, because I really like the way they address Harvey Dent and his alternate persona. So
I just hate that, though. You know, I hate
I know.
that. It just, they pull the rug out from under you.
And this week, there's nothing for whatever reason. Last week, they said, coming back on the 20th. I'm like, seriously? You're skipping a week in the middle of summer where there's nothing else going on. You're delaying the final 2 episodes.
Oh, but they're bringing
Really?
back Superman and Lois, Clark and Lois, whatever the hell that is.
No, Gotham Knights had a great premise to it. It has not been a disappointment.
And you know, I've liked what I've watched. I'm, 5 episodes in now? It surprised me in how it was better than I thought.
Yeah.
Compared to some of the crap the CW's put out when it comes to the DC universe.
Yeah. Now you're going to get to a couple things like, yeah, you knew it was coming. But it's okay. It's done in that natural, it's not forced.
Right.
It's addressed on going.
Right.
So,
yeah, I know there's some checkbox stuff going on in there. But yeah, like you said, I've admired the fact that so far they've handled it in a way that doesn't bludgeon you over the head with it.
It's building, but it's not in your face.
Right.
Which that's the way to do it if you're going to do it.
Right. Right. Going back to the last segment when I reviewed Marlowe, you got a gay character. Then they have an African-American character that they kind of push in there. But they do it in a way where you're like, I can live with it. It's not, again, beating you over the head with it. Yeah. It's subtle. They don't make a big deal about it. You know, the African-American guy doesn't talk about racism every 5 minutes. You know, the gay character, outside of the one funny joke I mentioned, doesn't talk about any of that stuff. So if it's done right, we've always said this, if it's done right, it's not fine. A big deal.
But just
we don't have a problem with being representative. Just don't act like
forcing it.
The 1% is 99%.
Exactly.
Well, an American icon is retiring. Pat Sajak is leaving Wheel of Fortune after next season, 41 seasons as host of Wheel of Fortune.
It's a hell of a run.
Yep. One of America's all-time most beloved game show hosts. And
I'm sure Vanna's not far behind.
And of course, in a couple minutes. We'll have to address this again in a certain other segment.
Bum, bum, bum.
But we have to move on to moments of silence. In our sports edition this week, we thankfully did not have any, but here,
wow,
lots of people, notorious, not necessarily people we want to recognize.
No, but just the place in history.
Right.
Let's do that right off.
Let's get those two out of the way real quick.
Yeah.
Number one, of course, the Unabomber, Ted Kaczynski,
who terrorized politicians for years with mail bombs.
I have no problem with protesting. I think it's a fundamental part of America. You've got to stand up against the man, but this is not the way to do it.
No.
I did want to get that out there, though, that dissent is necessary, especially with what we're dealing with right now in this country. And I hate the fact that certain factions, certain thoughts, certain viewpoints are being cracked down on where others are not.
There's ways to go about things and ways to not go about things.
Yes. Violence is not an option. Then, of course, in the world of religion, politics, Pat Robertson passed away. There you go.
Yeah. One of those televangelists that rock the airwaves, stealing money from the poor.
Are there any televangelists that aren't sleazy?
No, not at all.
If they're really good and pure of heart,
they're not on TV.
Yeah, they're going to get on TV and try to take money from people.
Yeah. Building the mega churches and ripping people off.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
All right, you've got a couple. Now we move back into the ones that entertained us, made us laugh, made us cry, the ones that we really want to recognize.
Yeah. So we will start off with probably one of the big ones. Actor Treat Williams killed in an accident. He was riding his motorcycle, collided with another vehicle that was turning. Still don't know exactly what happened. Just an unfortunate accident. I don't know who wasn't paying attention. But, of course, he made it. His big breakout was starring in the movie version of the musical Hair. A lot of other roles, was in Everwood on TV. Personally, I like the little bit character he played as a soldier in 1941. But thoughts and prayers to the family and friends of Treat Williams. 71. Then we have author Cormac McCarthy passes away, natural causes, at 89. Most notable for his novels turned into movies, The Road, and probably most famous, No Country for Old Men. So thoughts and prayers to his family and friends.
And then I've got two more. Big names, at least one's a big name. One is a little bit more of a personal one that Dave will probably appreciate. Let's start off with that. Little known actor Paul Jeffrey passed away here this past week. Who is Paul Jeffrey, Maestro? Well, he starred in one of the greatest movies of all time. What? Maestro, what? He starred as Percival in John Boorman's exemplary Excalibur.
Great movie from, was it 1980?
Sounds about right, yeah.
With Liam Neeson, Helen Mirren.
Yep, just an unbelievable movie.
Phenomenal.
Uther.
Phenomenal cast.
Yep.
Extremely well done version of King Arthur and the Knights of Camelot.
Best ever. Not even close. Best ever.
Two versions, the PG version and the R-rated version.
Yeah, because the R-rated version get boobies.
Yeah. Lots of boobies.
Yep. But the movie is phenomenal. I'm telling you, we're not overselling it, kids.
No.
Excalibur
it's phenomenal.
Yeah. It's like if you look back at Star Wars, the original, A New Hope, we look at it as the first one. Of course, it's Chapter 4, whatever. Even though the special effects are dated, it's still, to us,
it's a solid movie that holds up.
That's how you have to look at Excalibur.
Kind of like you would the original Clash of the Titans.
Yes. You have to get beyond, well, it doesn't have the great special effects.
Those were great for the time. Remember that.
American Werewolf in London is another one. The great Rick Baker, who was actually able to use prosthetics and makeup instead of using computer effects.
Yeah. The Thing. John Carpenter.
Yep. Old school sometimes is a lot more effective than just a green screen and a bunch of people in black suits with ping pong balls stuck to them.
Yep. So thoughts and prayers to his family and friends.
Finally, a true legend in the world of comic books. Co-creator of two of the greatest characters, if not the two greatest characters of all time in comic book history. He co-created not only the Wolverine, but the Punisher. That is one John Romita Sr. Literally one of the Mount Rushmore guys when it comes to comic book history.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Dave, or should I say Ross Geller, what time is it?
It's time to pivot. Pivot.
We go from paying tribute to those who have just left us to
mocking
the people we wish would leave. We want these people to leave us alone. And since
we say we might put one or two on the plane of doom?
I think one's already on it.
Permanent fixture.
Actually, two of them. I think we got 2 repeat offenders. 5 potential dumbasses of the week here to wrap up the weekend edition. Your Uncle Dave is going to be our contestant, as he always is. 4, dumb ass or not.
We need to create our own theme song for this.
We used to have that montage with Red Foreman.
Yes.
The way he's living his life, death would be a sweet release. I am actually starting off with a website that I love, that I listen to, that I read, that I go to every day. UltimateClassicRock.com. And this is going back to just last week. Dave, what did we think of the new Foo Fighters album?
Very disappointing.
Ultimate Classic Rock today just updated their list of the Foo Fighters albums ranked best to worst.
This, for us, would be the worst.
Ultimate Classic Rock today put But Here We Are as the 3rd best Foo Fighters album.
What, are they stoned out of their damn minds? Did they listen to it?
If it was Rolling Stone, I would expect that, but...
Good God. No. That's a travesty.
Yes. I don't understand
I don't get it, dumbasses.
Yes. 3rd best of all their albums. 3rd best?
No, not even close.
Yeesh.
No.
Yeesh.
Wow.
Marlon Wayans, cited for disturbing the peace, an incident with United Airlines at an airport in Denver, of course, had to take to social media with a profane rant. I'll never fly United again. They treated me so bad because supposedly he tried to take too much carry-on luggage through the gate, The gate attendant told him, you're going to have to consolidate or check your bags.
Like a normal person.
And of course, he couldn't do it. The guy told him, you're going to have to check bags. Guy missed it. Marlon Wayans missed his flight.
Oh, well.
Had to cancel his show that night.
Too damn bad. I'm sick of these elitists thinking that they are above everything. No special treatment, dumbass.
And why do you have to always go on social media and then just post profanity about everything?
Because they do not have the intellect.
Well, number one, they have to draw more attention to themselves.
Yeah, thinking, oh, I'm somebody special. I should get special treatment. No, you shouldn't.
Isn't he like the fifth most important Wayans?
Probably.
CBS.
Can't broadcast shit.
I miss the old days of Johnny Carson, David Letterman back before he grew his old man ZZ Top beard. I miss the old days when we could actually watch the 11:30 Eastern Standard Time late night shows and enjoy them.
They were actually funny and relevant.
But CBS has not learned. CBS just announced they are going to extend one Stephen Colbert for another 3 years.
Oh, God, why?
Taking him all the way through 2026.
He's not funny.
He's on the plane of doom.
Oh, he is.
I can't stand the guy. I think he's evil personified.
I've never liked the asshat.
He's not funny. His only sole purpose in life is to inflame emotions and get people pissed off. Oh, let's make another joke about Donald Trump. Oh, look, another repeat offender. Remember how I was talking about Pat Sajak retiring next year from the Wheel of Fortune?
Yes.
Do you know who wants to take his place? Who has put her name out there to officially be considered as the next host of the Wheel of Fortune? Think about somebody.
Which one from The View?
Who do you think?
Behar or Whoopi?
Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh, for the love of God. Hell to the effing no.
Whoopi Goldberg has come out and said she wants the Wheel of Fortune hosting gig.
No.
Once Pat Sajak retires.
No. Please, God, no.
So what, I'm 4 for 4 right now?
Yes, you are.
Okay, we'll see if I go 5 for 5. Megan Fox. Okay, Megan Fox. So, okay, conflicting emotions already here. Got upset with somebody who called her out because her 3 sons are always wearing dresses. She claims that they are expressing their gender identity. Whereas the people who are criticizing her are saying, there is no way in hell all 3 of your sons, even if one of them was expressing their femininity and wanted to wear a dress, how are all 3 of your sons wearing dresses if you're not forcing them to?
Exactly. She's a nutcase.
There's no way in hell. Mathematics, odds, statistics do not say that all 3 of her sons want to be feminine and want to wear dresses.
She's one of those manipulative dumbasses.
She's forcing them
in Hollywood.
And of course, look who she's with. Machine Gun Kelly.
Another dumbass in his own right.
Good to see that my record, at least this week, remains spotless.
Yes. 5 for 5.
So again, next week, your Uncle Dave will be gone. It will just be your Uncle Kev to guide you through with Queens of the Stone Age, Renfield, maybe some other fun stuff, especially on the TV and streaming side. We'll see if I can't, like your Uncle Dave, dug into Breaking Bad. Maybe there's a show out there I'll start watching. Off the Beaten Path.
There you
Saving
go.
Extraction 2 for 2 weeks.
Yep, we'll have a solid review on that.
Oh, Star Trek Strange New World starts this week.
There you go. You have it.
I will have my review of the first episode of season 2 of Anson Mount as Christopher Pike in Strange New World. So there you go. I forgot about that. Uncle Dave, hope you have a great anniversary week with Mrs. C.
Thank you, sir. We'll talk to you kids in a couple weeks.
Take care. We love you.
Check out the Facebook page.
See you later, kids.